Dazed and Confused at some point. I'd love to watch a movie about biography of your teenhood. Anyways, to this movie that we're talking about today, not Dazed and Confused. We'll do the Dazed and Confused here at some point because I'd like to see Shadow as a teenager. That or Fast Time at Richmond High. Yeah, one of the two.
I was in neither of those movies.
Yeah, they were roughly, Anyways, today is Thursday. It's either 11 o'clock where you're at, or it's not. Shadow's on avocado time, so I think it's 9:03 where you're at.
Yeah, it's 9.
All right, so tonight we're talking about the 1975 British comedy, The Monty Pythons and the Holy Grail. One of the first of its kind. Monty Python had a great fucking running for a while. A lot of brilliance went into their writing. For bringing British humor, it wasn't all that dry. I mean, a lot of it was dry, but it wasn't. Wait, did he just say something funny? Dry. Anyways, so what did you think of it, Shadow?
Oh, right off the bat, it was in the version I watched on Vizio, whatever free movies, whatever on my built into my TV.
Yeah.
What's up, Raven?
Hi. Sorry, I'm late.
I don't know what was wrong with it. Maybe that's the way it was, but I have literally seen better dubbed movies out of the Kung Fu theater genre than this one. It was driving me up a freaking wall.
I think you just got a bad run of it. I did Amazon Prime, and I had commercials, but it was flawless. I mean, it was.
Yeah, there were a lot of commercials. There were. I saw the same commercial 3 times in a row for some electric car.
I got Viagra commercials. I think it's trying to tell me something. I don't know.
I didn't get any commercials. I watched it on YouTube.
Really?
Well,
yeah. Well, I paid for the premium no commercial thing, but I mean,
okay.
It was seamless. The only thing that was missing was the very beginning of the show. On the movie cut, they have these office buildings that take off and start racing each other, and people are in the office buildings. And have you ever seen that one at the very beginning?
Yeah.
I think I saw the horizon. Yeah.
I've missed that one, but it happens. I was watching the opening, and they're having the subtitles. Somebody's getting fired for being an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the llamas that were all the llamas that were responsible for doing things and they couldn't do them right or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was.
And those that had been sacked were sacked. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have my camera on here in a minute. I got to switch I had an electrical blowout here out on the deck because the air conditioning is not working inside the house. And so I don't know what you're like there in northern Illinois, but I'll tell you what, southern Illinois is miserable.
You're in southern Illinois?
I'm in southern Illinois. Yeah, I'm right across from St. Louis. So it is.
Broadly. I'm in Pekin, Illinois. I'm not in northern Illinois. I'm in central fucking hellhole, Illinois.
You're north of me.
Yeah, well, that's true. So is a camel's ass, but we don't talk about that either. So you, unfortunately, Shadow, what I'm hearing is you just did not have a good showing of it.
Well, that was the beginning.
Well.
Okay. Wow. All right. Apparently, Raven wins the brass ring on having the best showing of it. I had commercials, but that was my biggest complaint. Other than that, did you enjoy the movie? Shadow?
Not particularly.
You've been such a stick in the mud for a while, though. We're just not watching it with the right people. You watched it by yourself, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Well,
and I had no adult beverages or party favors, and it was just. I've seen it a couple of times, and it's just some of it was it's silly.
That's supposed to be.
It's really, really, really silly. That's it. That's it.
All right, Raven, did you enjoy the movie?
Oh yes, absolutely.
It's our
I've probably
favorite
seen
movie
it
on the planet.
in excess of 30 times at least. I was trying to sit here and add up how many times I've actually watched it. God, and since oh my God, I think I first saw it in 1983 or something like that. 1982, 83, somewhere around in there. I can't tell you how many times I've watched it. I rented it. I could have bought it several times over for how many times I rented it. That was back when we had beta before VHS.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And then VHS and CD. And then, yeah. I think I actually wore one of them out because I got one for Christmas.
What's up, Bruce?
Replace it like 3 years ago.
I thought you didn't have Discord anymore, Bruce. He wants the link.
Yeah, I'm trying to send him the link.
Oh, okay.
Oh fuck! Right, he's on Discord.
So you got his Discord back or a new one?
He started a new one.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Well, that's I
literally have your email address right freaking here. I never use email, and one of my devices I can't even compose a letter. Can you believe that? There's nowhere to do that.
That's fucked.
I can respond, but I can't compose.
I've always enjoyed this movie. I really have. Granted, I can't watch it 30 times. Watching this movie 30 times just seems to me.
Well,
watching it every few years, like maybe every 2 to 3 years, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, well, this is 2025. I think came out. Let's see, I became aware of it like 1983. So there's a good, 40-year span there, plus 40 plus years that I watched it that many times.
I've only seen it a couple of times. I think maybe 2, 3, including this one. But it's amazing. It's amazing how many times and how many different places I've heard certain lines from this movie.
Oh, it's quotable. It's incredibly quotable movie.
Yeah, but it's so much of it is literally gibberish that I'm like, why?
This movie's been quoted. I know you weren't a fan of it, but the Dresden Files. This movie has been quoted in other shows, movies. I think there's a couple songs that loosely quote variations of this movie.
Yeah.
This movie is a transcendental. This movie is in a weird way, is very transcendental. It can be found everywhere. And that's, I think, a hallmark of a good movie.
Oh, yeah. I would agree.
I don't know that I would call it so much that it's a good movie. I think it because it was, sort of the first, wasn't it the first Monty Python movie? They had the show, then they did the movie.
I think the Flying Circus was before this, but I don't know if that's a movie.
Yeah, the
Flying Circus was a regular TV show.
TV show. I think this is their first movie. Yeah.
And then there was Life of Brian. Yeah.
Was it Life of Brian?
I think.
Hi, Bruce.
Raven, how are you?
I'm good. I'm fixing my electrical here, and then I'll be on cam. But good to see you.
The same. Hey, Shadow, how have you been?
What's happening, man? Hey, when you get a chance, reacquaint ourselves on Discord so I can get a hold of you. There was something I wanted to get a hold of you for, and I forgot what it is now. So it's probably no longer urgent, but
it's always how that works, I think.
Okay.
Then, like tonight, you'll be sleeping, or you'll have your wife with you, and you'll be doing something else completely unrelated to Bruce, and then I pop in your head. I'm almost as inconvenient as a morning wood.
So, Bruce, tonight we're talking about the movie Monty Python. When was the last time you saw this movie?
About 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
Right.
I've seen it about 50 times. I gave it when I moved down to Corpus initially, my cousin has a young daughter that was at the time 13 years old, and she had a love affair with anything that was kind of geeky because her mom didn't like geeky stuff, and I'm living there now, and all my stuff is with me. So her apartment gets a new geeky feel to it. And her daughter thought it would be great to have me watch the fucking movie, I don't know, 70 times in a season. Like I don't remember ever watching that movie. Then it's over. We'll press play on the DVD again, and that's basically how that worked out.
That is a quick way to ruin a movie for somebody.
It is a quick way to ruin a film. Yes, I completely, absolutely, wholeheartedly agree. But I still love the movie.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie. I mean, I know Shadow thinks it's silly, but he's
probably
sorry. The boy fell and couldn't get up. It's like this. I like
even remotely. I was sitting on my leg wrong in some way. I don't know how, but I got to turn on
cut off the circulation.
Yeah. Yes, I cut off the circulation to like the entire leg. It's weird.
Hey, Jack.
I could get up. I did get up. I didn't fall over from that. I fell over from laughing from how bizarre it was.
Every time I see the word hijack, I think alarms are going to start blaring and I'm going to get carted off by the TSA.
I'm still waiting for ICE to show up at my door.
Why? You aren't hiding anything illegal, are you?
No, I'm.
You would not have anybody who's lacking their papers, would you?
Papers? No. I don't know. During COVID, I was thinking about calling ICE on myself to see if I get a free trip to Ireland. Anyways,
do you still
that's
have
not how that works.
Do you still have a citizenship for Ireland? That's my question.
I gave it up. I gave it up about 20 years ago, but it wouldn't be hard to get it back.
I mean, you were born there, right?
No, I was born here. I'm American by birth. I was just raised over there.
Okay.
You were?
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool. So what was it like?
His story is not as cool as you think it is. There's a lot of like feeding the ducks while my grandfather kicks this fucking package of this parcel of suspicious material over to the other guy on the park bench.
You know,
feed the ducks, Andy.
You're not wrong.
We're not done. And like, it when he starts talking about his early childhood, you can see like a spy novel in the background. It's kind of funny.
But yeah, no, back to the movie because that's what we're here.
Well, so what part of the movie did you have a problem with, Shadow? Is it the ending? Where
it's just silly, and I've heard the lines, so many times, and it's just it because it was, very original for its time and whatnot. It gets a lot more credit than I think it deserves. There's a lot of cheap and cheesiness to the sets and the costumes and everything else. You can tell it was made. You
think the movie is cheap and cheesy with its sets?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it was filmed not on a set though. There's a lot of it.
Like I said, mostly with the costumes because I wasn't blind to the fact that they were I wasn't blind to the fact that they were on location in castles and things like that. But that's it was probably pretty easy for them to get permission to do so and very little money involved. Because it's the BBC, that sort of thing. It was like, yeah, do something. Yeah, you have our permission, etc. We're trying to compete with Hollywood and trying to get notice.
I think they were more or less just trying to finish their cute little project. I never thought of it as cheap and cheesy. The costumes I thought were good.
I did too.
I thought the costumes were really well done. I think the worst part of the movie is the fact that you're expecting it to have an actual resolution. And at the
Yeah,
very
I
end,
definitely don't like that. When Mel Brooks did it, I didn't like it either. Um, I really enjoyed the Flying Circus a lot, but I think they may have blew their wad mostly on that, and I don't know. It's just
They
I
made
size
that
this
was
movie if I want to, but I mean, I think for at the time they didn't have a real big budget. That's only like £250,000, which at the time was probably about 400,000 American. And in
so that
'74, that's a chunk of money.
sure.
And they do a lot with it. They do this. They do really good. I think a lot of the food was probably the majority of the budget because in every scene there's like 20 people.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of people in like peasant
Well, yeah, but
garb.
there's also the same 5 guys in every scene as well.
I'm not going to get upset about that. It's the fact that they're feeding an additional 15 people they found on the street to go and just play the role of this
Yeah,
peasant.
it was really weird. I was watching it, and I could have swore that Sir Robin's minstrel guy or somebody in the background was that guy Scott Thompson from Kids in the Hall. It looked just freaking like him, but I couldn't find any reference.
this movie came out in '75. Kids in the Hall was late '80s, no, middle '80s. It wasn't him. The math doesn't math on that one. No, I'm not saying. Well, I'm not saying. I understand that. So yeah, that was the budget, and the box office for the first round was a little over 2 million, £2 million. When they released the movie, it made over 5 million pounds. I mean, this thing was a banger out of the gate.
I think it actually is a banger of a film. I just think that the worst part is that as the audience, if the first time viewer, you don't know the movie is going to end on a punchline, and the punchline's aimed at your expectation that hey, we're going to actually see Arthur, succeed. No, he gets picked up and he gets shipped off.
I mean, after this movie, I don't know what the timeline is. Hold on, looking at the data for this movie. Yeah, that came out. In the 80s. This movie came out.
That end scene had a little bit of even back then. That woke mindset was already infecting the UK when the cops were
no, wokeness was not even. Oh my god!
I'm not going to agree with you on the wokeness. I am going to say that they have a shitty mindset because like they're breaking every day for a fucking half hour for tea at 4:00.
There was a little scene when they're trying to round everybody up, and they start. One of the cops says, "That's an offensive weapon you've got there." No shit. All weapons are offensive. How is it offensive? In the way that he meant it, though. You're offending somebody by owning it. No, he's intimidating you, and you're a bunch of fucking pussies.
Well, it is the British.
I'm just going to say that, like, I'm not against what you're saying. I believe all men should carry. I believe all women should carry.
Mm-hmm.
But I also was at a game store tonight, and I witnessed Friday Night Magic Rage, and I probably
God.
I don't need to see like an overly fucking testosterone laden 15-year-old neckbeard wanting to go further than just throw a table.
Oh my!
What's up, buddy?
Dragon.
Is someone having a tizzy fit during a Magic game?
Yeah. I should have been. I should have been recording.
Was he a blue player?
I don't know what he was. I all I saw was black, red, and green all over the floor.
Magic the Gathering. That is a multi-billion-dollar business that drives people fucking crazy over the cardboard stock market.
I don't know why people like that game. The game is not the same after 30 years. It's gone so far downhill. The cards suck. The quality sucks. The
mindset, the art. Um,
Everything's gone so far downhill on that. I don't know why
the
people
virtue
are still involved with it.
signaling when they redid the Lord of the Rings characters, like intentionally to piss people off.
Wait, there's a Lord of the Rings attached to the Magic the Gathering?
Yeah. There's a set of Lord of the Rings cards.
They actually made a fucking One Ring card, and the guy that opened it up got it graded, and it was labeled authentic, and so he sold it. Somebody famous bought it. It might have been Post Malone, but
There was only one of them.
he sold one of them to Post Malone for like $265,000.
That's what you call a fucking payday.
Yeah,
That was exactly what Bruce thought.
right. But making Aragorn black just to piss people off was
I can see the humor.
childish.
I'm not, well, I get what you're saying, but I can also see the humor in it.
I don't know why they made Aragorn black. That's not Aragorn. That's Amazon's Aragorn, but that's not the real Aragorn.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, back to the movie we're talking about.
Sorry.
All right. Trying to remember the random list of questions we asked. Shadow, did you have? Sorry, it's been a hot minute since we've done this. Shadow, did you actually, of all the characters, was there one that you actually liked?
The Black Knight.
None shall pass.
It's only a flesh wound.
He's the only character with any actual testosterone. I'm sure he had to go and he was reprimanded and had to see HR after the filming of. But yeah,
Why would he have to see the queen? Anyways, HR, get it. Anyway, Raven,
Yes.
who was your favorite character?
Oh my gosh, I gotta pick one. I had so many. Well, the French guy that was taunting.
John Cheeseman's the French.
Him. That
Cheese.
I have to say he was my favorite character. I don't want to talk to you no more, you empty-headed animal pig trough water, whatever. My cousin and I used to say that shit. We had a painting business, and we would quote Monty Python back and forth all afternoon, and just owners would come out and look at us kind of funny. I know it's just stupid, but his insults were hilarious. I fart in your general direction.
See, I don't have a name for my favorite character in this movie, but my favorite character are the minstrels.
Oh, minstrels. Yes. Bravely
bolts a Robin. Greatest song in all.
Yeah.
Neil Neens. Neil.
That time you almost fought. That time you almost stood.
Almost.
You almost did something.
And then he bravely ran away.
Yeah, that guy had a couple roles. He was the leader of the minstrel, head monk, knight, not king, knight of the Camelot, and the servant to the crushed by the rabbit. So yeah. No, this is the minstrel that Bruce was talking about. Not one guy. Oh, there was a few people that only had one role, but everybody was like very much double and triple dipping in this movie.
You find all sorts of people that have like 2 or 3 jobs in that movie. They'll have like 2 roles, or somebody does costuming and then they do a role over here. That's all over that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a John Cheese character, Tim the Enchanter. Yeah. I was watching it and I'm like, is that Billy Connolly? No, it really should have been Billy Connolly though to play that.
Could you imagine Billy Connolly being involved with these people?
Oh, it'd been fucking brilliant. Oh no. Of all the characters that amused the hell out of me, well, they all amuse me. Wow. I really don't have an answer to this. That's great. I mean, I like the history professor, John Young, as Frank the Historian. I thought he was a great character for like 3 seconds.
Who
But
played the guy that was the hunchback old man who was there at the crevasse, that shoddy bridge, and he was asking him, what is your favorite?
those 3 questions.
Yeah.
The soothing, that was Terry Gilman.
Okay. He was good.
Terry
thought
Gilliam's amazing.
It was great.
And later he made one of Shadow's probably favorite movies, 12 Monkeys.
That was a great movie. I've been trying to see that for a couple of years now. It's really hard to find.
You don't have the DVD of it?
No.
Wow.
Well, that history line is
my
no longer...
DVD collection would probably fit in a shoebox. I've been remedying that lately, but okay, maybe 2 shoeboxes. Box sets.
The only thing I can say of late that I've really been impressed with is Landman, and that's probably the best that we're going to get from Billy Bob Thornton. He's done a lot of good stuff, but that's probably his best role of all time.
Let's see.
And Ellie Larder's boobs are in it, so there you go, gentlemen.
Yes.
I don't really like her. Those teeth, those buck teeth of hers.
She looks like a Kennedy.
What?
She looks like one of the Kennedy girls. Like she could have married, or at least slept with Schwarzenegger.
I had to look at the age of the daughter because I'm like, damn. So I had to look her up. I'm like, okay, she's of age. I feel like
she's 27.
Yeah.
The actress is 27. Her boyfriend in that show is 30. Jack looks like he's got more winters on him than he does. And Jack still looks like a fucking teen. Don't get me wrong. You look at Jack, you're like, oh, he's young.
Yeah.
But this dude, nah. He looks super young. The Minstrels, I think, for me, sell the movie. And I don't know why I like the Minstrels so damn much, but I think...
I'm really surprised you didn't pick the Nuns.
They're my second favorite. It wouldn't be that hard if I didn't have a crush on nuns. Janet sent me a video, or one of the videos we did, where she dressed up like a nun during a movie review, and I'm like, just stop that. Stop. You trying to have me edge all day? Stop that.
That's dangerous.
Best friends a tease.
Right. But what about scenes? Was there scenes that you liked, Shadow?
Well, I was going to say before we get to that, second favorite character has to be the rabbit.
No, the rabbit, yeah. That tracks for you. The rat.
That's funny.
There were no dogs, so and there were no monsters except the rabbit. As a matter of fact, the rabbit had the highest kill ratio, I think, in the whole movie. So
Yes.
The fact that they had to take him out with a holy hand grenade, that's pretty badass.
The holy hand grenade, yes.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times in a D&D game I've run across the holy hand grenade of Antioch, and that needs to stop. It needs to stop now. Stop bringing it, into your D&D game. Nothing. Max Liao just did a community post about that today, as a matter of fact, which I thought was quite interesting. How many people, how quickly it breaks their immersion with the Monty Python lines in a D&D game. However, they did make a Monty Python role-playing game, and Raven's going to run it real soon.
Well, it looks like this version of Sophie is finished.
I think I have that one too.
Yeah. She's been around since 1997.
She's a little pale, though.
Mm-hmm. I don't let my succubi tan.
That's fair.
All right. There's this meme that I see every so often. It makes me giggle because there is some truth to it. Where when the party first get together, they look like the Fellowship. Then somewhere during the middle, towards the end, they look like the Holy Grail. It's just how it is.
That's how the games run.
They should. they should look like they've been through hell and back, and that they aren't as competent as they thought they were.
I mean, my favorite thing to do with the game is like let them start off and think they're going to win, like the Pathfinder group on Saturday. Like they're all high level, and if you ask for a saving throw, I just rolled a die 20, but I know I passed. That's all the fucking players. But I like making it difficult, and at the very end of the session, players are like tapping a vein, or they're trying to get a cigar or cigarette lit. They're stressed out, and they look like they've just done like 3 or 4 shifts at the OR. You know, the cleric, she's got no healing spells left, can't do any channel positive energy. I've got a healer kit, you know. That's about all I can do. Maybe get some triage set up. I have the thief. He's got a compatible blood type with a barbarian, so we'll just hook a lineup from him to him. That's about the best that you should be able to do at the end of a game, but that's the way I prefer to play. At the end of my games, I want everybody to be spent. I want you guys to like just collapse with a jar or a bottle of whiskey and just repair. This movie does not exist in that millennium where that could happen because they never get to the fight. Fucking Arthur gets picked up. It pisses me off. Sorry.
No, I get it.
That part of it reminds me of an actual game where like you're getting ready to do something big, and then like you're like, okay, guys, we'll be back here in 2 weeks. And Connell's like, I got my daughter's graduation, and Janet's like, I'm going out of town. Chris is like, I actually have family coming over, and I'm like, but in 2 weeks I want to play.
I'm sorry, not sorry.
It's not your fault entirely. It's everybody's fault. Like, you fuckers have lives. Like, no, you don't. Or worse yet, in the middle of a game, like President Trump gets shot in fucking Butler, Pennsylvania, and instead of us being able to focus on the game, now you are on social media. Guys, get off social media. Get back in the game. Fuck that event. Fuck the deep state. Let's play.
I think any day or every day we should say fuck the deep state. Just saying.
I want everybody to say that. I want everyone to feel that. I want
3-year-old little kids saying it.
I want 3-year-old kids saying things like Epstein didn't hang himself or taxation's theft.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to have PTA conferences for us adults. The teachers all been out of shape. I couldn't believe it. Your little son said that your child, your sweet little baby boy looked at me dead ass and said, taxation is theft, knowing I'm paid by the school district. Sorry, Connell.
I knew as soon as I sent you the link.
I missed you, Bruce.
So back to the movie. Was there any? What was your favorite scene, Shadow?
Probably the nuns.
The nuns. Yeah. Should tie her down to bed and spank her. And when you're done with spanking, we all get spanked. Then the oral sex. Okay. Oh, we gotta get you out of here. No, I'm good.
Really,
I think I can handle this.
yes,
I'm
that
a
definitely got my attention.
girl.
You know, because the whole movie was really, really, really tame, and you know, that it was like, finally, I feel like I'm watching a grown-up movie. You know what I mean? Other than that, I mean, you could literally sit little kids down to watch it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, for Monty Python, I felt they did play fairly safe throughout most of the movie.
Just for can somebody really quick Google Blazing Saddles, what year it came out?
1975.
1975.
Same as this?
1975. Blazing Saddles was 75.
Well, I know what movie we're going to be reviewing the next time we do this, Shadow.
That kind of makes my point, you know, right there. Blazing Saddles. I know I'm watching a grown-up movie. You know what I mean?
Even though Brooks was very uncomfortable with a lot of the fucking humor in the movie, but he was told it's racist racist being racist. It's fine. I'm like, all right.
I thought he wrote those lines.
No, that was Richard Pryor.
I don't know that Richard Pryor had anything to do with writing this.
Yeah.
Richard,
We'll find out next week or the week after.
yeah, Richard. Hey, Scott. Richard Pryor. Yeah,
Hey,
had
what's
a
up, Scott?
lot.
I knew you'd show up.
Hey,
Raven, favorite scene.
yeah.
Definitely.
I just did this with the book club.
Huh?
I just did this with the book club, so I'm still, What's your favorite scene, Raven?
Definitely the French taunting King Arthur and his trusty sidekick there at the castle wall.
That was good. Bruce.
My favorite scene is at the start of the film when King Arthur is trying to talk with everybody. I'm Alpha, King of the Brits. And he runs into those two peasants that are digging in the
Oh yeah.
dirt. And the one peasant gives him a nice lesson in politics. And
We're an autonomous collective. What is an autonomous collective anyway?
it sounds nice, but I don't know if it'd work. But
Does it
okay.
even
Sounds like
exist?
an oxymoron, to be honest.
Sounds like a bunch of hippies.
There's Raven. Hey, Raven.
All right.
I like that scene probably the best because it sets the tone for the rest of the movie. Like you know right there you're not going to be watching a conventional film. It's going to be a bunch of little comedic vignettes that do tie together, but they still can independently be a winning piece. And I think that's the strength of the film.
Yeah.
The Burning of the Witch.
The Burning of the Witch is yours?
Oh yeah, The Burning of the Witch.
Sorry, guys, I'll be right back.
Yeah, the whole argument about how much weight a coconut swallow, which it's incredibly dumb, but it just makes me giggle because I've been around people arguing almost not that argument, but very similar in just stupidity.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a timeless.
Garrett's wife. Garrett's wife will
Which
quote
one?
that film. The one he just divorced, Ashley.
Yeah. Oh, his second former wife.
Yeah, his second wife. She will quote that movie, and when she starts to do the quoting of it, just sit down and she's going to go through all of it. It's going to take her about 45 minutes to recite everything.
I think she was partly the reason why I stopped watching it there for a hot second. Between her and Starkweather, they had a way of just killing anything I was mildly interested in.
I could imagine that she sucks up on at about everything she gets her hands on. I only say that for the fact that I watched Garrett. Like now he's starting to look a little bit more lively. Now he's looking like he's enjoying life more. But you have to get divorced from somebody to do that, man. You probably shouldn't have gotten married in the first place.
You don't know, and you don't know.
We don't. But I mean, Garrett looks a lot healthier now, even though the situation he's got going on. He still looks a lot happier.
If she weighs less than a duck, what burns? What does fire burn? Wood. How much is wood? A duck. No, she weighs. Yeah.
She turned me into a newt.
Oh, I got better.
I got better.
How you doing over there? I got better. Then they did the whole bring out your dead. I'm not dead. Actually, I'm doing
Not
better.
quite dead yet.
3 times. Once with the guy for bring out your dead. Then Lancelot's second. Then the was it the son or the father? The daughter's father. It was the daughter's father. Yeah. He's like, no, actually, I think I feel better. Well, Scott, you're better off for it. I ran into her at Walmart 2 weeks ago.
What?
Yeah. True.
What?
Yeah, when the father's trying to explain why it's so important to get married, and then he's like, "Son, there's also those huge tracts of land."
Those huge tracts of land. Yeah.
Who was the guy who played the son?
I don't know. And he shoots the letter out the window. Please
Yeah.
help me. And Sir Lancelot gets it and thinks it's a maiden. And he gets there and he kills all these people to get up to the tower where he's expecting a female, and it's that son. Oh,
Man, I was just looking throughout the cast and see who's still around, who's not.
Isn't that sad?
Chapman was the first to go.
oh,
He died in 89,
Yeah.
89
yeah.
of, I think, cancer? Something bad. John's still around. Actually, he's John, I think he's going to be in Chicago. He's going to be showing up somewhere around here in Illinois. I don't know where.
Cleese makes me happy.
Terry's still around. Is Eric still around? Yeah, Eric Idle's still around. Terry Jones. No, he died in 2020 at the age of 77. I don't know. I think that unfortunately is true, Scott.
This is the survival portion of our lives. You hit 40 plus, and your buddies from your 20-year class reunion, they start falling off. And then, like, it's not just one guy that had a bad ticker, it's another guy. And then the next thing you know, you're kind of looking at your yearbook and there's more of us that are dead than alive.
Shit, I was talking to my daughter about how important it is to make friends in high school and whatnot. And she's like, she was trying to be snooty. And she's like, do you have any friends still left from high school? I'm like, no, all of my friends died in Afghanistan.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's kind of where a lot of my family's at, because in the Eastern Illinois, a lot of them went and joined the Army Reserve after the Global War on Terror starts, and they got shipped over to Paris, Illinois. That's where there's a huge regiment. Used to have a big cavalry detachment based out of there. Faces of the Fallen website, we would be able to mouse over a face and they'd tell you where they're from. It had more people from Paris, Illinois than anywhere pretty much
Really?
else.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they lost, like, by 2007 there was 30 people out of that detachment that had situations with IEDs over there. I personally knew 6 of them because I ran a game table in Charleston and Mattoon. And, some of those guys were kind of older, so their kids were asking about military service. And I always recommend Navy because you don't want to have a situation where you're in a trench, or you're having to depend on another country's infrastructure to stay safe.
Yeah.
Most of the time, Navy is a little bit safer than the others. And only 2 kids listened to me. The others went over there, and I think 3 of them ended up in caskets.
Oh God.
I know one kid personally, he was at my table for 7 sessions, and then once he turned 18, his dad gave him the okay, and they were riding along in a fucking Hummer, of all things. I don't ever ask me about the Hummer. The Hummer's a piece of shit. The Hummer, the gas pedal on a typical vehicle, that's where the volume control is on a Hummer. You press down on what should be the gas pedal, and it makes it go louder, not faster.
Mm.
And it's not safe. If you're unsecured and you hit rough road, you're going to smack your head against something hard. And that's what happened to Chuck.
Now, I'm going to ask Shadow a question. I kind of know what I'm getting into with this question, with all his minor issues, one would say, with the movie. What part of the movie did you not like? And before you give that answer, keep in mind this is the internet. It is YouTube. It is forever. People will see it and judge you.
It's not
horribly.
forever. This is YouTube. It will delete you if it doesn't like you.
Well, that's true. Never mind. Answer however you want.
Didn't like.
And you can't say the entire movie.
No. There were parts I liked, but it's. The coconuts and the lack of horses. I think there could have been a lot of horse jokes instead of running that coconut thing into the ground.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna hate the coconut thing.
And I don't know why they picked the guy they picked for King Arthur, because I kept seeing him as Brian. You know.
Who would you rather have as Arthur?
Yeah, I mean, I can't see John Cleese playing.
No. The other guy, the other one,
Terry Gilliam.
No. The guy who said huge tracts of land. When he was bearded and stuff, he you know, but he clearly, you know, they wanted someone who had a certain look to him, I guess. So I kind of get it, but he didn't really. He's just like so milk toast, you know. Arthur was you know, he was the badass of the group, you know. But
they're British, they're all kind of milk toast.
Yeah, well, John Cleese clearly wasn't.
Yeah.
Even when he played Lancelot, I mean, I love that scene where he just kills everybody. That was just, it's like, oh my god, this is great. Finally, some freaking combat. You know, just stabbing and slashing everybody.
Fights his way up to the tower, expects a maiden, and gets that little guy in his looked like.
I could see that. Just I couldn't see him as anybody but Brian. You know, and mind you, I've only seen Life of Brian like maybe twice. I actually saw it in the theater, drive-in theater, as a matter of fact. God, I miss the drive-in. So you guys have no idea. God, if I had three wishes, that would literally be one of them. That it never went away and stayed the same, because that was such a huge part of my not just growing up, but my love of all things, you know, American. That was so just integral to everything American. I mean, that's how half of us were made. You know, it was at the drive-in.
Yes, God, I think a lot of people of a certain age saw Empire Strikes Back at the.
Oh God, what a great movie that one was too.
That was a little bit before my time, not by much though.
Yeah, that was one of that might have been my favorite movie. It was either Alien or Empire Strikes Back was my absolute favorite.
Wait, what do you like better, Alien or Aliens, Shadow?
Alien.
Wow.
It was, you know, it's literally to this day. I keep saying this. Alien and Jaws continually rank number one as the scariest movie of all time. Every year they do that survey, and one of those two movies, depending on the overall feel of the year, I guess, you know, it's this one or that one. For you know, going back as far as I can remember, as the two scariest movies of all time.
Yeah.
And I saw Alien when it first came out, and it was literally the first time I ever heard a woman use the F word, and that my parents were just aghast, and my brother and I were in the back seat of the car, just like eyes glued to that movie, and it's just a perfect movie. It's not too many of those.
Jaws affects me to this very day. I'm scared to go out in the ocean too far out.
Yeah, I stopped surfing when that movie came out.
Jaws did affect a lot of people.
I still have PTSD from it.
Wait till you see Alien. You'll never go back into space again.
No, yeah, I don't want to see. I've seen enough of Alien.
No, you literally have not.
I've seen the
One of these days, I'm going to
thing
find a way.
comes out of that guy's body and attacks the people standing around it. That's just nuts.
Such a great,
You
great movie.
guys played me some of the highlights of that movie, and I'm scarred. Thank you. I already have a problem with nightmares. I can't watch those movies because of that shit.
Have you seen a movie called The Substance yet there, Raven?
No, I've not. It's called The Substance.
The
So
Substance.
I guess we're never going to watch The Audition together either.
The Audition.
Bruce, you ever seen that one? The
No.
Japanese movie, The Audition.
No.
Haven't seen that one yet.
Ooh, that will fuck you up. That
See,
one will mess.
How bad
mess
is it?
you.
What's the gist of it? I've never
A,
even heard of it.
a girl goes to audition for a movie, and she's waiting and waiting and waiting to hear back, whether she got the part, and she doesn't hear back, so she decides to kidnap the guy she auditioned for and do terrible things to him.
Wait.
And you
When you
what?
saw hold on, Raven. When you saw this movie, was Paul? What was it? Was guy who played Pee Wee Herman in the same role as you? Because I've seen a few adult films that might start that way.
No. It's not an easy one to find. I'll just say that.
Have you ever seen the lemon stealing whores?
No. Definitely not.
I knew that was coming.
That's awesome, Scott. I too was a huge fan of Vader. As a matter of fact, my favorite image from all of the Star Wars movies is Vader with his hand out. You know what I'm talking about there, Scott? Oh my God, I had that poster on my wall. I wish I still had it. Someday I'll find it. Because it was one of those. There was this magazine that basically was like 8 or 12 pages or whatever it took to unfold it to be the poster. And I've still got a couple of them left, but that one I don't have. I'm gonna have to look it up and find out what the name of the magazine was. But it was like 8 or 16 pages. But when you unfolded it was that poster. But yeah, I still vote. I still root for Vader.
Yeah.
Claire was right.
Well, he gets redeemed.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, I was dealing with the public, and I'm like, I think Thanos was right. So
Yeah, I felt it's funny you mentioned that. We never watched the movie, whichever Marvel movie it was that Iron Man died, because Jackie was such a huge fan and so in love with the Tony Stark character that when we heard Tony died, it was like we both looked at each other. Yeah, we're not going to go see that one. And that was the whatever movie
Endgame.
for that was the
I'm
last.
surprised.
that's one of the better ones.
I've stayed away from Endgame just because I like how it ends. If you don't see Endgame, then Thanos wins in the Infinity War.
Yeah.
And I'd just rather think the entire fucking universe collapses at that point. All right, we're done.
So Raven, what part of this movie did you not like?
did I not like? Okay, I got to think. Really, I thought it was all pretty funny. I mean, it was a good ride all the way through, I thought. So what part didn't I like? Probably the scene where they're the witch scene, because it echoes back to a time where that was not so absurd, and a lot of women were killed for stupid reasons, about as stupid as what they portray in the movie. And for that reason, that's the scene that I hate the most. The only scene I really
I get why you don't like it. I do understand. I just, like I said, it just reminds me of people I deal with. So, but funnier in a still fucked up way.
She turned me into a newt.
Really? But it'll go better.
Got better.
What about you, Bruce?
First scene of this film is probably the very end for me, because it up until that point it looks like it's a real film, and at that point you realize it's just not. It's over. Like, it's over in a way you didn't think it was going to be.
Yeah,
And
it was a surprise ending for sure.
A very surprised, very shocking way it ends, and I
Sitting there
kinda-
going, what?
yeah, I laugh about it now, but the first time I saw it, I
Yeah.
pulled it out of the DVD or out of the VCR player, and I didn't want to watch anything else. I just wanted to go over in my head what I just saw, because I couldn't believe they actually ended it like that.
Ended it
Yeah,
like
but
that.
they kind of hinted at it throughout the movie with the little scenes of the detectives, I guess, whatever they're called over there. In the car. It's just like, oh, okay. At some point they're gonna culminate with the real world.
I didn't think about that at the time. I was what, 8? I was what, 12 when I first saw it. And then I was again 18, and I still didn't think it was the good ending.
Yeah, they should have. I think they couldn't think of anything, to be honest, to top it off.
They ran out of money.
That the money issue is probably what happened.
Yeah, they probably just ran out of money.
I mean, in a roundabout way, this movie was actually done fairly cheap. Yeah, it was a lot of money for back then. But Shadow, when you said, well, they could have had horses. Oh, that's fucking expensive. Anytime you had,
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that probably didn't make the budget. No,
Yeah, but think of how many
yeah,
different jokes and how many different things they could have done with that. Even if they had used like a couple of horse costumes, the 2-person costume. Think how funny that would have been at least once. Like there's a bunch of horses, but then there's like mixed in with the real horses, a bunch of fake horses. That would have been hysterical instead of the freaking coconut thing.
I really wish, like, if they were going to have the fucking coconuts, what we should have done is have like a horse that, like, it was a 2-person horse like that, like what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But the horse like gets lame or gets a sprain in his foot or can't
breaks
run.
the leg and
The horse goes bad, and so one of the other knights comes up, a doctor, and he's got a crossbow, and he shoots the horse, and so now they have the coconuts they got to do the rest of the movie, got to bang that together. That for me would have been funny as fuck.
that would have been interesting.
Just, because they don't mention it, and they just everybody just acts like that's perfectly normal.
Yes.
Squires just, and I guess that it tied into the coconut and the sparrow joke, but that was kind of like just kind of okay, you're beating that dead horse. Oh wait, there is no horse.
It's a swallow.
All the horses in the movie should have been 2-person horses that people kicked.
Yeah, I can see that.
How about you, Connell? What did you not like about the movie?
I don't think there was anything actually hit my top what the fuck list. I enjoyed the characters for what they were, and I enjoyed the character actors were great. I thought the monster towards the very end that dies because the guy draws a hair stroke. I'm like, come on, guys. It's all right with them to look at the fourth wall, to make fun of the fourth wall, because they did it, and I expected out of them. But that was just like, I don't know. That could have been, they could have just kept it with the rabbit, They get to the cave. They see that. They make their way to the bridge. You lose half your crew because of that guy. So the whole cartoon thing wasn't exactly needed. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but at the same time, you're
Yeah, but
seeing
to be fair, that particular animation and that art style had been an integral part of the flying circus all the way. If there wasn't something, it wouldn't have felt entirely Monty Pythonish unless they did something at the very beginning and the very end. But the very end went off the freaking rails with the
right.
hobbies. So I
If
can
it's
see why
not
they did
that,
it.
if it's not that one, it's the whole Night of Knee. The whole Night of Knee was just fucking waste of time.
Yeah, but it was funny, and you had to have a scene with Sir Robin, and because he was, everybody else was like in a lot of scenes. So
Yeah.
bring us back to me.
Me. What a shameful day
I'm
it
Roger.
is.
Roger the Shrubber.
We to old ladies.
But yeah.
I'm
Could
surprised
this
nobody
movie
put Tim the Enchanter as their favorite character. I thought
Right.
maybe that would be you, Shadow. I thought you would like Tim the Enchanter.
could you see this movie that we're talking about if it wasn't made back then? I said so it's not a remake, but them trying to make this movie right now. Could you think it'd be done?
Yeah, but I don't honestly think there's anybody. There aren't any actors that could do it without bringing in or dragging along with their own brand of virtue signaling. These guys were completely apolitical and.
There are a whole. I understand what you're saying, but there are comedians out there. They're not like Hollywood famous, but they're famous that don't do the whole virtual thing. They're just
But see, that was part of what made this work. Was everybody in the movie had done? How many years was the Flying Circus around? And a huge part of anybody who watched anything on BBC, even I watched, dozens, if not scores, of episodes of the Flying Circus as a kid before I ever saw this. So
They
they
had
were
a
like
couple
household
yeah.
names.
I think he had a couple
Me
different
too.
runs. I think it was on, then got taken off, then on again.
And you really would need that. And right now, I don't see there being anybody, especially over there, that wouldn't, the BBC is just really pissed off everybody right now.
The
over
guy
there.
who plays, all right, I can think of a couple guys.
Graham Norton.
Graham
I love
Norton.
the Graham Norton show.
The guy who did Shaun of the Dead.
I didn't see that.
Maybe
Frost?
there might have been a couple
Nick
of people there,
Frost
but
and the other guy. So I put those two on. Nick Frost and the guy who played Sean. Yeah.
What about Johnny Depp?
fuck him.
I don't really have anything against Johnny Depp, but he's not exactly known for his.
He could play. I mean, he could be cast. I think in a modern day Holy Grail video.
Bill Burge, Jeff Dunham. Yeah, I could-
Fuck Bill Burr.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Bill Burr, but I'm not going to throw all the hate at him. I mean, I understand whenever you're married, you gotta cohabitate. You gotta give some consideration and small
No,
concessions.
he's literally lost his ever loving mind.
Who are you talking about?
Bill Burr. Burr. I don't feel he's lost his mind. I just feel like he's going to lose his identity for a while because he can't stay married and have his old sense of humor.
Who is this guy? What does he play in?
He was in The Mandalorian, and he actually played a fucking acting role in The Mandalorian.
He's a comedian.
Let's see that one.
Bromley. He started in the mid '90s. He was really popular in the mid '90s. He blew up in the 2000s, and just he's a personality comedian. He's
Okay.
He's the Dennis Leary of the 2000s.
Okay, gotcha.
Man,
With his
that's a
redhead,
poor. He comes up poor on Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
Dennis Leary, who freaking runs circles around him.
Oh, Dennis Leary as
National treasure.
no, Dennis Leary as Lancelot. Okay,
like
so if now wouldn't work, what about the 90s? Could this movie be made in the 90s?
Although, real
yes.
quick, Scott, real quick, I would love to see just Jeff Dunham do the whole movie with his puppets, just all puppets.
that would be brilliant.
That would be funny.
I mean, if it's gonna be like an ending where Arthur gets arrested anyway, fuck, nobody's gonna care if the fucking puppet gets arrested.
Yeah.
They fucking take the puppet off the guy's hand, and the guy's
Yeah,
like,
I would like to see it along the same line as Team America, but with all Jeff Dunham puppets.
Oh, that would be funny. That would be good.
That attention to scenery, etc. Maybe even the same kind of puppets. The marionettes turn his ventriloquist dummies into marionettes, with him voicing all of them
Ahmed, the dead terrorist.
So wait.
as the wizard.
Would Peanut be?
I kill you.
I kill you.
Oh,
That would be
Ahmed
freaking
would
awesome.
be would Peanut be King Arthur or Sir Robin?
Who?
he would be the minstrel. He would be the one making fun of the bard.
Oh.
I think I would get
Walter would be
Bubba-
Arthur. Yeah.
either Bubba or Walter as King Arthur.
No.
Yeah, see, Scott agrees with me.
No. He'd have to invent a new character for King Arthur, a new puppet.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I've
He'd have
seen
to
what
put up
Jeff
with
Dunham
it.
makes. He could do it.
And Jeff Dunham is another national treasure. If it wasn't for him, the entire ventriloquism shtick would have died
Would have died.
I think you're
many
right.
years
Bill.
ago.
Yeah. True.
And he literally was the absolute king and master of all of it. He brought it to levels no one ever dreamed of, and no one else will ever be able to match.
I think my favorite special he did was the one fresh off his divorce.
Oh, he was so fucking pissed. Yeah. Me and Jade went to go see him when he was in Peoria.
Was that special or no?
Yeah, it was that special.
Good God, you lucky fuckers!
Yeah, he's definitely probably up there easily in the top 50 greatest comedians of all time.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because he can do it all, and he still manages to kind of stay family friendly.
For the most part, as long as he doesn't get divorced, he's mostly clean. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he did. Well, I mean, I know he did before his current marriage, but I with monkey branching and everything, I could see him in court any day now.
Oh God. Oh man. No, he's one of my favorites comedians. I was a
Are
big
we
fan
talking
of
about
it.
live comedians or dead comedians?
Oh, I mean, shit,
Okay.
dead comedians. George is always going to be on top of my fucking list.
I'm never a fan of him. He was fake. He was. It was all an act, and yeah.
Who?
George Carlin.
Well,
I still didn't hear you.
George Carlin.
Oh, George Carlin.
He's on the top of my list.
Robin Williams,
funny.
easy. Easy.
Ron Williams is on that list.
Robin Williams, yeah, definitely.
1982 Robin Williams, amazing. Everything else is a pale fucking imposter. Like a fucking white or a wraith got a hold of him and sucked out his levels of funny.
Do you ever see him when he did the improv with John Ritter?
Yeah, that was fucking classic. Also, when he was on the roast with Dean Martin, that was really good.
Did you ever see him do the 4th of July thing where he's wearing the American flag shirt?
Oh, I've seen that.
Yes.
That
Oh,
is
dude.
really, really good.
That's
awesome.
that's almost in my opinion his finest performance, and showed just what an amazing guy he was.
Yeah.
I sound like such an asshole when I say this, but if you're famous and part of your shtick means that in the room before you in your dressing room before you go out on stage, it means you take a bump. When you stop taking the bumps, when you say I'm going to go sober, just hang it up, because what you had then and what you'll have after is two entirely separate performances. Williams is still funny, but he wasn't nearly the level of manic and funny that I love.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
hate it.
I
I
kind of get that, but at the same time, I honestly see that's where I'm going to shock you guys. I think Robin's best work, other than the 4th of July thing, was his performance in What Dreams May Come and Bicentennial Man.
I haven't seen Bicentennial Man. I need to see that.
I've seen that one.
Him as an actual actor, it was just.
I really liked him in Dead Poet Society. Did you guys ever watch that?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was
Okay.
that doesn't
That
compare.
was really cool.
It's got some fun.
Yeah.
What Dreams May Come, you could run that movie before you start a Planescape game.
You really could. Ron Williams film. I mean, Ron Williams, Mork and Mindy, of course.
Hey,
That was
Bruce,
a great sitcom. What is that?
What Planes Chase?
what do you, it's Planescape, what he was just talking about.
Oh.
I've never even read it. It's in almost perfect condition. Never even read it. I'm gonna review it. Oh, what the hell is this?
Do you know that Mork and Mindy was a spin-off show from Happy Days?
Happy Days? Sure.
Yep.
No. I watched both of those shows every
Yeah,
day.
His first appearance was on Happy Days.
Okay, I did not know that.
You probably saw it, but you forgot about it because Raven, you're like my age or something.
I don't know what your age is.
I just hit the 50 mark.
Let's see. He did I think it was a comedy special. Well, of course it's a comedy special, but he was there with the guy who played Ernest.
He did a comedy special. He did a few things with Jim Varney.
Those two just fed off.
Another underrated freaking genius.
Varney was the first viral comedian because once he started getting kind of big, PBS picked him up. And it was kind of like one of those things talked about under the radar. And then all of a sudden, like Ernest Goes to Camp.
Ernest Saves Christmas, Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Goes to Jail. Then it's Ernest Scared Stupid. Then the movies just get really, really, really just dumb after that.
Yeah, I couldn't watch. I got halfway through one of those movies, and that was it. I walked out.
I don't know which one goes.
Monty Python, but I could not do Ernest.
Then he was on TV. He started off.
He was a trained classical Shakespearean actor. Is how he got his start.
I think the last role he did was in Toy Story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got pissed off at the radio DJ in Springfield, Illinois, because whenever Barney died, he celebrated, and I'm like, what the fuck are you laughing about? Like, that was one of the best comedians we've had in over 15 years. The guy made it big off of just doing stupid shit, which is how comedians should get funny.
Yeah.
And he,
Well, what was the what were the commercials that he got his first big break in?
Right. There was a milk commercial.
yeah,
No. Before that, there was a where he got the character Ernest from. Was like it was from a commercial.
Oh yeah, the Ernst came off of a
he was doing a
commercial.
skit. He did skits for like $50. He'd film himself, and they were airing this on PBS in like 1987, 88.
What's that he was the first guy to pay to do do videos for you.
He was the first viral comedian, I thought.
Oh, I like Eddie Murphy back in the 90s, early 90s.
Raw was the height of his career.
Raw, yeah.
After that, it was all downhill.
He was at Opryland. Varney was at Opryland in its first year of operation. And then he was 24. He was an actor at the Pioneer Playhouse in Danville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then it was adjacent to an Old West themed village. And before the show, people would tour the village and people would play the townsfolk, the apprentices would. So Varney was out there doing improv.
I would have loved to seen him back in his heyday.
Oh, it would have been great. He was a cast member on the show Johnny Cash and Friends. And he was on a parody show called Fernwood Tonight and America Tonight. And he was on Operation Petticoat, the television version of it.
Huh.
But he became Ernest P. Worrell. Know what I mean, Baron? And he was doing commercials for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders at Beach Bend Park near Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah, but what was the company or the product that he was hawking for the commercials where he first did the Ernest?
The first thing he was doing was those Cowboy cheerleaders commercials for Beach Bend Park. And then after that, he was doing dairy milk advertisements. And he was using the hamburger chain Braum. Braum had a lot of advertisements featuring Ernest. And he did the Ernest Worrell. He also had a old lady character that he was sitting there in a rocking chair knitting, and he would just like roll the side eye up. I can't believe this is exactly what the people call funny.
That character, the old lady character, showed up in every fucking movie he did that was worth
yes.
That was that just it went to show just how much what a wide range the guy had.
Yeah,
when it came to playing different characters.
Like I said, the first things he did, he was an advertiser for an amusement park in Kentucky. Then he did milk products and dairy product stuff.
That's not the one that I'm thinking of.
I'm sure if we dove into his actual
Purity Dairies, based in Nashville.
Yep, no, that's not. I never seen those. I keep getting him his commercials confused with Fred Rated. Shadow Stevens played the character for Federated Group or whatever it was. It was a electronics outlet out here.
Auntie Nelda is the old lady dressed in drag and appearing to be a senior citizen.
Oh, yeah,
I'm a motherly lady encouraging one to do what was right. In this case, by whatever product was being promoted. And this character, along with the Ernest character, ran for a few years in Mississippi and Louisiana in commercials for Leadco aluminum siding before it became a regular in the Ernest P. Worrell films.
I gotta grab it. I'll be right back.
Okay. There was another commercial, like a big company that he did something for. At least out here it might be different for you guys, but that's where I first saw him. playing.
Are you talking about Blake Slaughterburger?
Nope.
Because in New Mexico, he picked up a gig doing a role for Ernest as Blake for Blake Slaughterburger, a fast food chain out of New Mexico, and that's kind of close to the avocado curtain.
No, it was. God, what was it? It wasn't that. It had like a precursor vibes to Home Alone with the Wilson. You'd never see Vern kind of thing.
Are you talking about Hey Vern, It's Ernest?
Mhm.
It was like a little TV show he did for a while in '88.
Yeah, but it was before that. He did a commercial playing Ernest and talking to Vern, trying to get Vern to like buy something. Whatever the commercial was for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
God.
But it wasn't food or. Take care, Scott.
Take care, Scott. Good talking to you, sir.
No, he did a lot.
I was surprised at all the things that he did. His Wikipedia is actually fairly complete. I just remember one day, like I would turn on PBS on a Sunday, and they've got Ernest on there. Who's Ernest? It's this guy.
I honestly can't remember what it was. It was something. It was pretty big too.
So I got to ask you three, and Raven will answer this when she gets back. What's your guys' rating for this movie?
Like 1 out of 10?
Yeah, like 1 out of 2 or 8 plus or what?
Well, can we like agree on a rating system so I can give you an answer? Because
1 out of 10. Let's make it easy. 1 out of 10.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing that would be simpler than that is a rating as in grade A, B, C, D, or F.
5. That's the best I can do.
Coming from you, that's fair, man.
Yeah.
Because you did not like this movie.
Yeah. How do I put it? It was just almost everything I watch and enjoy is a lot edgier than this.
Well, this was edgy at the time. This was incredibly edgy at the fucking time.
I can't picture that.
Okay. Then we need to grab the Star Wars Holiday Special. Don't forget the one with the commercials in the edit. And then show that to Shadow. And let him just have his face fall off from fucking Borden.
Well, no, I'm just comparing it right now, initially or immediately to Blazing Saddles. And what year did Soap come out, the TV show?
What show?
What show?
Soap.
Soap? 1976, I think.
Okay. Soap was edgier.
Yeah. Soap had Mona from that show with Judith Light and Tony Danza and Alyssa Milano. And then it also had Billy Crystal as an early
as America's first openly gay character. For a part he almost got killed for playing. But it was just, it was edgier, more adult, and making fun of literally everything in the entire soap opera genre. If you guys haven't seen Soap, it's, oh my God. I was literally the only person in my family watching it. And in 76, I was 10.
77 was when it first came out, my bad.
Okay, 77, I was 10.
I think I know where the hiccup.
And nobody in my family watched it. They were like, "What the hell are you watching?" I tell them, they're like, and they didn't. They were all watching something else, and I thought it was just absolute genius.
Well, you've got Robert Guillaume, Howard Hessman, Billy Crystal, Catherine Hellmond. she was the one. She just recently passed on a. She was part of the Who's the Boss cast. You've got Dinah Manoff, Richard Mulligan, Marla Pennington. It's a who's who of West Coast actors in the late 70s. It really is.
Yeah.
Roscoe Lee Brown.
I had a huge crush on Corinne, even though I was only, like I said, 10. She had that Kate Jackson thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I kind of grew up really, really quick. Kind of had to. So things like this movie were, I found Land of the Lost edgier.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I think I know where the hiccup here is. This was edgy for British humor.
Yeah, exactly. And they,
Where-
they
Don't
were
ask
very
my
prim,
opinion on
proper, and polite. So for them, this was, wild and crazy.
Because we're wild and crazy guys. Anyways,
Since Raven's not here, Bruce, what do you give it?
I'm going to give this movie an 8. I think there's a lot of stuff that's really goldmine for comedy. I think there's too many instances of great comedy that it's not going to drag down just because how it ends. Even though the movie telegraphs the ending from pretty much the get go. Once he kills the peasant riding on the horse, and you start seeing the detectives following them, you kind of see it coming once you put it together. But it shocks you the first time. The ending is the weak point of the film. But I think it's because they ran out of cash. Like, trying to feed all the extras probably hurt them.
I would have to agree with that. I'm right there with you. I think I give this movie a solid 8. It's not great. It's not bad. It's one of the first of its kind in a lot of different ways. There's been this thing. The show, as I said, has been made its way into.
Again, Bruce, what year did Kentucky Fried Movie come out?
Ooh. 72? Let me look. 1977.
Okay. That was our version of this. For me, growing up, we would go to Tower Records. We had a friend who worked there, and every like Friday night before Rocky Horror Picture Show, we'd go over to Tower Records and we would watch Kentucky Fried Movie as he was closing up. And then by the time it was over, we'd make our way over to Orange Mall and watch Rocky Horror Picture Show. Whoa.
Man, I really don't want to hear anything from you about how good a movie is after willingly go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Not once. I'll forgive you the first time, but how many times did you see that?
I literally saw it every Friday and Saturday for about 2.5 years. But mind you, every Friday I got my tickets handed to me in my hand by Cassandra, Mistress of the Dark, Elvira herself. Every Friday after school.
You could have got those tickets handed to you and still not fucking go.
Well, the thing is one, there were a lot of girls there. 2, we could also, instead of watch that, we could sneak in or just walk in to see The Song Remains the Same, Pink Floyd The Wall, Heavy Metal, Dawn of the Dead, Wizards, and there might have been 1 or 2 movies I'm forgetting.
That's a movie I need to watch again.
We would see those, depending on, sometimes we'd go and watch like the end of Song Remains the Same, or we would skip it, but we did it every Friday and Saturday. So having seen like The Song Remains the Same at least 20 times, Pink Floyd The Wall at least 10 times, Heavy Metal at least 10 times in that theater, Dawn of the Dead half a dozen or more. So I didn't see it every single. I saw at least once a weekend for 2.5 years, and probably alternated watching other movies. But as a young man, there were a lot of girls dressed up in nothing but lingerie at midnight, and I was 14 to 17. So you're damn right I went there.
That sounds like a whole lot of grooming behavior.
A lot of what?
Grooming behavior with Tim Curry on stage and that get up.
Little Nell was like 16 when she was in that movie.
Once again, not making my argument any better.
It was a different time. Time.
No, good sir.
It absolutely was. That nip slip will never, ever leave my brain. As a young man, it's like, oh my God, I saw a nipple. I'm coming back.
Times when Janet's hanging out with us, I just want to say, damn it, Janet, I just want to get laid. But
I'm going to be completely honest, and this happens with a lot of my female friends in my life, but I've come to grips on how they make me feel.
Right.
Raven, we were rating this movie, seeing as how it's your favorite movie of all time, 1 to 10, and you can't go higher than 10. How do you rate it?
8.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Well,
that you rated that low.
It's your favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, I mean, as far as comedy goes, but I mean,
Okay, that's fair.
I like medieval. I love that. I love that period of history, and so there are a lot of good movies out there that, capitalize on that theme, but they're more meaningful. The one that comes to mind when they redid the King Arthur. Sean Connery played King Arthur, and Lancelot was played by what's his name?
Richard Gere?
Richard Gere. Yeah,
what was First Night?
You're talking about First Night.
Yeah, First Night. I love that movie. I just love that movie. I thought it was so the costumes, the whole.
You're the only person I know that
the
feels
music, everything.
I didn't like First Night. I thought it was a Sean Connery movie. Of course,
I love Sean Connery. I don't care what anybody
is mostly overrated.
I want Sean Connery to read me bedtime stories. I would, if I was rich enough, I would pay him whatever to do that. Because he just got that voice.
That's a very nice thing for you to do there, Miss Raven. You want to pay me money to read you bedtime stories. I might even do a nip slip.
Yeah. I think he was highly overrated.
Yeah.
Connery?
Yeah.
Hot. He's hot for an old guy. He's just hot. He really is.
I think. Okay, if you want to say he's overrated, I say good old Chucky Boy is overrated.
Chuck
Heston?
Yes.
Charlton Heston? Yeah, in a way, but he was also
but he was Moses. He was Ben-Hur. He was an Omega one. Yeah,
oh,
I
yeah,
get
Moses
it.
was sexy, right?
But I was in the movie Zardoz. And you saw my package under the red fabric.
He was the only today. He is the only person who got away with this. In Time magazine says every once in a while, if your wife is out of hand, you just give her a good smack and put her right back in her place.
Healthy slap. It's a factory reset.
Factory reset.
Mhm.
Get some back. Get some back on page 1.
Again, different time. So
Fuck.
I'm not going to judge the past by modern sensibilities. I think that's asinine and shows a complete lack of understanding of how.
No, Shadow. You got to get your whole hand in it, and you cup it because you got to smack it against her fat rump, and it's going to make sure that she understands who the boss is.
Although I have to admit that what was his name? Colonel Gentleman from the Venture Brothers was one of my favorite characters, even if he was gay. using the Sean Connery accent when he's reading off the list of toys that he wish he grew up with, Micronauts and all the other things. That scene just fucking blows me away. What was it? Stay Alive, the survival game. It's just the way he was reading off that list. It was who was that comedian who said Sean Connery could literally make a grocery list sound exciting?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I want to say that was, and I know I'm wrong. I'm 80% sure I'm wrong, but Michael Myers did when Sean Connery was getting a lifetime award for being Sean Connery, of course.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, he had a whole skit where Sean Connery, he did say something like that. It might not have been him.
It wasn't Sean Connery who did the skit that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But Michael Myers is another person who can go die in a fire.
Yeah, he did.
I know he gave us a lot of great stuff, but somewhere around the end of Shrek, he lost his ever-loving fucking mind.
You know, I just saw the other day that they were going to use Chris Farley as the voice for
Donkey.
Shrek, and I
Oh,
saw
Chris Farley, no.
Oh no, it actually comes out to be a much more tale from the heart, because Shrek just wants to be kind of left alone for the most part.
Yeah.
And they have a secret file, or if you look it up on YouTube, of course, you find Shrek and Donkey talking. Donkey's voiced by Eddie Murphy, and once Michael Myers got involved with Shrek, the entire movie gets rewritten.
Oh yeah, it becomes a Michael Myers movie, of course.
But the original script that they have and what they're talking about in this little footage makes me very hungry to. I want to see the script they had, because I would like to know how they originally thought that Shrek was going to be, since when they were writing Shrek, they were thinking of Chris Farley.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, what did we miss out on?
I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Interesting.
I've never, and I feel a horrible person. I have nothing against him as a comedian, but I was never a huge Chris Farley fan. He was trying to be, to me, he was trying to be Belushi, but he wasn't Belushi.
Yeah. That's the
He was
impression.
always trying to be Belushi.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Living in
All
a
you have to
pool
do is
down
go.
by the river.
All you have to do. Who was it? What was his name? The guy from Dirty Dancing.
Pat Swayze?
Patrick.
Right.
Oh, the Chippendale thing?
Dude, Belushi could have never pulled that off. Would have never even put himself in that position.
I don't know. If
Belushi. There's probably no image of Belushi without his shirt. Okay, anywhere. But to see Chris Farley pull that off completely, what anybody else would see as humiliating himself, but pull that off, competing against Patrick Swayze to be a Chippendale dancer.
That was funny.
That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And again, I'm gonna make some people hate me, but I think Belushi was also overrated. I think his brother was 10 times more talented.
We disagree.
We very much disagree there, good buddy.
Sorry, but
it's okay. It's okay, because I know you do like Jim Belushi. Jim Belushi does have the title right now, the world's largest living, or world's funniest living Belushi.
Sure.
There was a movie you had us watch, and
Real
I
Men.
can't remember.
Men.
Real Men. And that
literally the funniest movie I've ever seen. I've never laughed so hard, so much in my life, and I've seen a lot of funny movies. Mind you, there was some party favors involved the first time
Beer
I watched
Fest. You need to watch Beer Fest.
Oh God!
But he was also phenomenal in Red Heat with Schwarzenegger, and
That's another good movie.
That is a good movie.
And Belushi was a junkie.
Belushi was an addict.
So was Ron Williams.
You church it up all you want.
I'm not trying to church it up. I'm just saying, like,
right.
He enjoyed fucking doing drugs more than he liked anything else. That's my.
And that's what took him away from us. Because
Fine.
Belushi's Samurai Night Fever and everything else samurai related was just absolute comedic gold and pure genius.
Tried to find a comedian back then that wasn't. I'm not saying they weren't some comedians that did play it straight, but a junkie and comedian from the 70s and 80s goes hand in hand.
Well,
You want to praise Robin Williams, but you bag on Belushi for being a junkie.
because I have a line. It's one thing to do your drugs, certain ways, but when you got to bring a hypodermic needle into the picture, you're a junkie. If you literally need a medical device that's normally used to save lives to allow you to just cope with your stardom and your fame and your millions of dollars, you've lost my sympathy.
Whom else?
Drinking, smoking, even snorting, I get that. But when you got to draw blood and shoot something into your fucking veins just to cope, you need help. And everybody around you should burn in hell for watching you and letting you continue with even one more injection.
I know. I'm. Oh fuck. I am from Peoria, Illinois, the home of such comedian as Richard Pryor. I'm a big, I enjoy Richard Pryor for a lot of his fucking works. I mean, I even have. Oh, Raven, have you ever seen my Richard Pryor impression?
No.
You want to see it?
Oh my God! Get ready for poor taste.
Hold on. Do.
It's sad because it's also his Michael Jackson impersonation.
I did that somewhere, and this guy got pissed off at me. I'm like, fucker, he did it.
He did it on stage.
What?
He did it on stage.
Yeah.
He was an interesting character.
Yeah. So what? Freebasing. Is there a difference between a junkie?
He was all right. The story goes with Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was trying to commit suicide.
Hold on.
What the fuck is that?
Those are cats or raccoons fornicating or fighting. Take a pick.
I was going to say something much, much more vulgar, but never mind. We'll just say it's the cats and raccoons. Fuck it.
It could be an interracial thing. I don't know.
That was my phone.
That was your phone?
That was your phone set to vibrate.
I have these ringtones that I got. They're all like Halloween ringtones. I have a raven that calls it. Yeah, this vampire organ music. It's hilarious to see people's faces when I'm in the grocery store and somebody calls me.
While you were gone and we had the big nipple on screen, I really wanted to go grab the creature feature chick face off of the web and put that on the nipple instead because we had your big gray nipple on there. And I'm like, okay, she would at least appreciate this. If you know what Creature Features is, it's a really good California-based YouTube show. And they have their host, which he's like a vaudeville-esque, like 1940s, 50s Hammer Films guy dressed up in a Dracula
Doesn't
suit.
he have the girl sidekick who never says a word?
Yep, he has the chick sidekick that never says a word. And they're based out of San Diego, California, I believe. Diego or Francisco, I can't remember.
Oh, how funny! So the name of their channel is Creature Feature.
Creature Features, and they fucking air movies, and they don't talk during the films, but they watch films together, and then like at the end, she does stuff or he does stuff, and her big shtick is she doesn't talk, and so a lot of her comedy is physical comedy, and she's funny as hell.
Yeah, she's like the Teller from Penn and Teller, but a blonde. Bride of Frankenstein kind of look.
She's a cutie.
Okay.
She's a real cutie.
Wasn't there haven't there been different women to play that part though over the years?
I don't know well enough.
There's like two different women. at different times playing that part. But yeah, she just gives the side eye and rolls her eyes and does all kinds of nonverbal things the whole time he's doing his Bela Lugosi narration kind of thing in gothic era type attire.
I just found out that was the first show that had Gary Nerdrotic on when he started making it big back in 2017. That was his first stop. He went up the road and did a show with them.
Oh, I want to thank you, Bruce.
What did I do?
You introduced me to the Guilford Godfrey's reading of 50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey by Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh.
He puts his thumb alongside her vagina.
I introduced that to somebody else, and
God,
I basically have been told that I am not welcome at their house until the wife forgives me, which might be a while.
Oh, no.
So I've done you a favor.
That's why. Why do you think I'm saying thank you?
This is why we're friends.
Wow. So I am seeing you this Friday? This Saturday for your
Saturday,
game.
we're gonna hang out and game. Unless you're doing something else, you traitors fuck.
I am sorry. I have a child that I adore.
Your spill take ruined my game.
Never mind. I'm not even going to go there.
Oh my god! So on Facebook, I was being somewhat, fatherish. Then I posted a picture of Maggie when she was itty bitty next to her graduation. Have a look at my diploma. I said like the best part of being a father is having her as my daughter, which I truly mean.
You're being honest about that, and that's good. I mean, it's the only time in our lives we've seen this.
Yeah. Oh my god! So we're at the Target, and she's with her shoes on. And she wears a lift. She's almost as tall as me, and I'm looking at her. She's like, "What?" I'm like, "I don't like this." She's like what? I'm like, "You're almost as tall as I am." She's like, "Yeah, and I might grow tall." I'm like, "No, I have two solutions." And she's like, "What are they?" "I'm gonna start feeding you coffee or break your fucking kneecaps." And we're in public when I'm saying this. We're checking out of Targets, and there's people listening to us. She's like, "Well, if you break my kneecaps, I will stab you while you're asleep." I'm like, that's fair. That's fair. But when I die, on my tombstone, I want one of two things. She's like, "Okay." I'm like, the first one is I like my eggs fluffy. If that doesn't work for you, please bring me a cupcake. And the cashier's just laughing her fucking ass off at me and Meg in our antics. But this is how me and my daughter talk to each other.
Yeah.
And so if my choice is, and I adore you, Bruce, as a brother, I really do. And you know I mean it.
Mm-hmm.
To celebrate a big cornerstone of my daughter's life or play Peter Pan Envy, with dice, I'm gonna pick my daughter. That's how it should be. But I don't know what the fuck Janet's problem was or Chris's. They had no fucking excuse. Oh, I heard we picked up 2 new players.
They're players from back in 2016-17.
One of them don't put me in the same room with, and the other and somebody else.
Well, he won't be there on Saturday. He's going to be gone, so I will be RPing his character, or I will be sending his character off on something else to do.
His character should be arrested in every village for something of stalking related.
It'll be easy to take care of, Brev. Don't worry.
I've been told by a neutral person in this conversation, please be nice. I'm like, I am nice.
I am nice.
You don't really understand, Raven. I mean, when these two get together in a room, it can be civil until it's quiet, and then one will say something snarky to the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like somebody from the Rothschilds script writing agency wanders across Shadow's path, and Shadow's trying to get the M1 Garand loaded, and you hear him go cussing because his fucking thumb gets pinched. That's exactly the level of frustration that happens out of these two men.
I'm not saying I'm the one star. I don't know. You know, the wonderful thing about life is we don't have to like everybody.
That's true. When are you going to come back to the other game?
Oh, your other game? Soon, I hope.
I heard you got a better job situation.
I'm working out the schedule now.
Awesome.
It's okay.
Raven, do you play D&D or any of that?
I did play in Shadows, Voyage of the Sea. There, what do they call it? I can't remember the name of it. It's still going on.
She was in my Bright Sea campaign.
Right, thank you. Okay.
And then she was in my Traveler campaign, and now she's in Justin's Morkborg game.
How do you like Morkborg?
It's so funny. It's so gross. It's fun. I enjoy it.
I've heard people talk about Morkborg before, and I've tried watching it, and I actually had a copy of it in my hands once, and I thought, this is terrible.
It is terrible. That's what it's kind of like a Monty Python thing, in the way of terribleness instead of comedy.
Does Morkborg do? Who does? I'm in a system what my friend is running. Dragonbane. I'm actually enjoying the fuck out of that game.
Dragonbane is a very solid game.
Didn't like it.
There's worse out there, Shadow.
I'm aware of that. I'm burnt out in ways you guys can't imagine of the zero to never hero. You know what I mean? The
Okay.
mud sword, the low level, the low magic, the low
Okay.
everything.
Okay. I'm not burned out on it. I like making the players suffer for the things they want. Ronald knows me he knows me very well. Look at that man. So
Yeah, let's hope people get a planet to rule or something.
You know, having been at this longer than almost anybody we know, there's only 1, 2, maybe 3 people I've met in the last 5 years that come close to having played as long, but clearly not as many games as I've been in. And
yeah.
all I want now is like high power, high fantasy, power fantasy, all the crap that I was denied the first 30 years.
You don't want that. Trust me. You want somebody to run you through either streets or cities without name or stars without number. Have you seen these books yet?
I think I have. I think I have Stars Without Number, or maybe I'm thinking.
Have you? Okay, then you haven't read it yet.
No, I'm thinking 5 Parsecs from Home. Sorry.
You need to read that book. That somebody had an idea about making Traveler more D&D adjacent. You're gonna play Traveler, but it's with the fucking BX system.
Which I'm not a fan of, but okay.
I like BX. The reason why I like BX is not because of its low level friendliness. It's that it's friendly at high level.
I can see that, but I think it still pales in comparison to the gonzo crazy levels that were achieved with AD&D, and I just despise racist class. Not that I'm going to go full Pathfinder or 5e or 3e where everybody can be everything, you know, but I do like being able to gotta understand that almost 90% of all my players throughout history have all ran non-humans because of the wide variety of options that you could be in AD&D and Palladium and things like that, as opposed to just playing a human which, you know, we're all pretending to be something we're not, taking it one step further to be, you know, a race that we're not, has been a very appealing to the people I've hung out with.
Okay.
So that the every hobbit is just a hobbit, every dwarf and elf are just that, and they all could do the same thing. Sure, you can make their personalities different and things like that, but you know, the human centric sort of mentality just bores the shit out of me. I want to see, you know, alien races, fantasy races be things that, you know, you kind of don't expect, not like all cookie cutter, you know, every elf is an elf, every hobbit is, you know, the same as every other hobbit, and humans are just better at everything. I find that ridiculous. Thinking that an elf sorcerer is inferior to a human sorcerer or spellcaster just makes no sense to me. It should be the opposite, in my opinion.
And you're okay to have that opinion, but the reason why I'm wanting to point you towards the Without Number series of games is literally because of the openness that they invite. You can literally write whatever the fuck you want with those games. Stars Without Number, Worlds Without Number, Cities Without Number. That those three, even the free side of those, which are still 300-page books, those are so worth owning and researching into because of all the various things that you can do with those systems, and they're mostly BX adjacent, and they can work very well at higher tiers of play.
You know, it's funny because the what you said about Stars Without Number actually does sound somewhat appealing. The problem I find is that everybody I know has this thing when it comes to sci-fi. You can never be super. You're just a dude. Just a regular dude. I know. That's the mentality is like. I don't want to play, you know, superheroes in space kind of thing, and I'm like, that's all I want to do. I ran a 35-year evil campaign of literally superheroes in space.
Did that end?
No, it hasn't ended. I just haven't done anything with it in a while because two of the players passed away, and the remaining two players are 1,000+ miles away. I talk to them pretty regularly, but you know, there's only so much I can do, and they aren't. You know, Raven and I are really Luddites when it comes to the modern age of the internet, and they're even worse. They have cell phones.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, I know. They won't. They can't possibly imagine playing online. You know, which, you know, mind you, I couldn't either 5 years ago, and now that's all I do. And you know, it had my two friends not passed away, we could have been playing this whole time, you know, every weekend or some such, and it's really a shame that I didn't discover this until, you know, 3 years ago.
Congratulations. I'm happy that you're part of this now.
Oh, me
but
too.
I really think that I really want you to look at that seriously, because I think that's the game that you would be writing supplements for. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, Shadow's going to go fucking full bore old gods with this shit. You're going to bring up Jack Kirby's Ghost. You start doing this at any level, that's going to happen.
Maybe I do have, you know, I'm currently working on two different game systems. One for, you know, I'm helping Arduin, and I'm working on my own with Justin. I just, you know, I know there's a market for it out there, but in all the people you and I know, there's nobody out there that wants to do that. They want, you know, gritty space, swords and sandals when it comes to fantasy. You know, magic is bad. You know, only the bad guys should have magic. Kind of mentality, and I'm like,
That's boring.
I know.
I want. God, I'm such a libertine when it comes to fucking gaming. Like, I want you to either have access to all the power, all the magic, all the psionics, all the equipment, whatever it
Ditto.
is. What do you top out at? You know, that's what
You
you should
don't.
have.
You don't. You die. You never top out. You just die. Right? You know, you can keep going. I can handle it. You know, I've run God campaigns. I'm running a God Wars. I've run the Immortal system. I've run characters that were, you know, obscenely powerful and never once went, oh my gosh, you're too powerful. You know, when all else fails, just add a 0 to their hit points and you're fine.
Fair enough.
To the monsters, right? I mean, that's the most pedestrian, simplified, you know, answer. But I mean, I could always come up with a challenge. I cut my teeth on superhero comic books and superhero games more than anything else. So, you know, coming up with a challenge is, you know, that's all part and parcel to the whole genre. You know, there's a reason why Superman still has comic books on the newsstands today, you know, almost 100 years later, because they can always find something, you know, and it doesn't have to always be kryptonite. That doesn't happen every month. There's always something to keep, you know, Supes busy. You know, you're never going to see Superman going, time to retire. That'll never happen. Never.
Fair. I mean, I got my issues with Superman as a character, but that is fair.
You can pick, you know, throw in Thor. I'd say Silver Surfer, but they're getting ready to kill him off, which is
They are not. Stop it.
That's what I heard.
Well, stop. Just stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
He's one of my all-time favorites. So yeah.
So
I don't wanna see that.
understand. I understand your man fear on this one, but they're using, and I hate it as a concept, the multiverse. And there might be a universe out there where you're a female. It does happen. In
No. I wasn't talking that at all. I was talking literally killing the original.
Well, hell, he's died and came back multiple fucking times.
Not that I'm aware of.
He
But
died.
I'm currently reading the omnibus right now, so I'll let you know.
Okay. All the
No, I wasn't
heroes.
talking about gender swapping him. I was talking about just like, you know, putting him to rest permanently.
There's only like 3 characters. Well, realistically, there's only been one character, 2 characters technically that they permanently dead. One is Uncle Ben. There's been variations of it, but Uncle Ben's been dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
Gwen Stacy,
what about Captain Jesus?
Superman.
No,
Captain America,
no,
Captain Jesus.
Captain Jesus.
What?
Or was it? It might have been actually Captain Christo.
I don't know.
I'm not familiar
Literally,
with that
there
one.
was the equivalent. And there's actually, if you look, there's like between a half a dozen and a dozen characters. Marvel is just we never they never existed. Forget we wrote that. Just no.
I think Captain Jesus should probably be on that list for multiple.
absolutely should have never been a thing, but I found that
Oh, you
incredibly
mean like
hysterical.
Captain Jesus?
I don't remember it perfectly, but there was also, you know, Arms Fall Off Boy.
Oh, see, that guy was just funny, and Nathan Fellman played him, so I can deal with it.
Yeah. There was a superhero Raven. His superpower was his arms were detachable.
I remember Stretch Armstrong.
Yep. They brought him back recently, just without the wonderful corn syrup filling.
Did you have a set of Rock'em Sock'em robots?
Of course I did.
Yeah.
So
See,
we've been at this for 2 hours. I want to do this every other week.
Fine.
The next movie either has to be, oh, good lord. Your call between Spaceballs, Blazing Saddle, or Zardoz, the Sean Connery movie that is
I have
on
never
Amazon
seen
Prime.
Zardoz. I don't know that I could.
Your son made me watch that godforsaken freaking movie.
Which one?
Yes.
one?
Yes.
Which one?
All of them.
Wait
He
a
only
minute,
had
which was the
one.
one that picked Ren or something like that? The Japanese one,
No, that
4
was
hours
Grail?
long or something.
That was Omen's pick.
Oh, okay.
which
Yeah,
really
I
was
hated
just
that
a
movie.
retelling of King Lear. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was.
It was
It
terrible.
was pretty bad.
I've
It
seen
was brutal.
Yeah, I've never seen Zardoz. I would go with Blazing Saddles just because it's a 1975 and we can compare and continue
Okay,
that
we'll do
conversation.
1970. Okay.
America versus the
That's
UK.
fine. I
and
want
what
Spaceballs on the list. I want old comedies. Granted, I don't know what Czar does, or whatever the name is.
it's definitely
on-
not a comedy.
That's a
It's
drama.
funny. It's definitely going to get some giggles.
It's
But I
going to
don't
make you
think
laugh,
I would-
but it's a drama. The third act is a good drama.
So,
Yeah,
Bruce, when we do that movie, do we need to invite you back?
I would love to be part of that. I want to watch that movie.
It's on
movie?
Amazon Prime for free.
What is
Okay.
Zardoz?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen it. I will watch it just for curiosity's sake.
I guess he who has blazing saddles. The idea what I'm having right now, Bruce, and I said this to Shadow, is I don't want to watch a movie that's behind a paywall. But he's got Netflix, so do I. I think we all have a variation of.
You know what
Prime.
movie
I've got
you need
Amazon
to see,
Prime.
right?
I've got Tubi.
When you
I've got other things. But I think what Connor was also saying, I really like is let's try and stick with comedies for a while. There's just not enough laughs these days, and going back and watching
Yeah.
movies that were funny without being afraid of hurting
Beer
anybody's feelings.
Fest.
Beer
Beer Fest.
Beer Fest. I'll put them-
as long as we could throw, I think I mentioned it earlier, Team America.
I hated that movie when I first saw it. I'll watch it.
I think you need to see it again because I think you've changed a bit.
It's irreverent, and that's what I want.
All right.
I'm sick beyond imagining of political correctness and fifis. If you like literally like if you can't watch Blazing Saddles and laugh your ass off all the way through it, and you get even remotely upset at the scene, we probably can't be friends.
At least you're not Irish. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. No,
It's the whole world used to be able to laugh at stuff like that, and now you can get you killed.
Yeah,
And,
sad. Sad but true.
and I'm done with that shit. We need to take back humor and make fun of everyone equally.
Yeah.
Instead of worrying about offending people. If you choose to get offended, go fuck yourself.
so we're doing old comedies.
Yeah.
The Great Outdoors with Dan Aykroyd, John Candy should be on the list. The Jerk with Steve Martin should be on.
I have not seen The Jerk but once. I cannot wait to see that one again.
Wow.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm looking forward to that one again. There's another Steve Martin one.
Maybe
Lily
Bruce Willis's Hudson Hawk. Should be on
Oh,
the list.
please. Oh, God, I love that movie.
Money Pit should definitely be on that list.
I think it's called All of Me, where Steve Martin and Lily Tomlin. Oh God, this game's fun. Lily Tomlin and
Sounds like really angry.
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. Can't remember who the swami.
That's a really good movie, but I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah. Me
What
neither.
about The Man with Two Brains?
Oh, it's a classic.
Yeah.
Steve Martin is way up there for me. I have some really fond memories of watching SNL with my old man.
Yeah.
Well,
Laughing at
um,
shit that I shouldn't have found funny because I was, really young.
did we watch the Blues Brothers?
No.
Then that should be on the list.
Blues Brothers is a good one. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, we're just doing old school comedies. There's a few new comedies on there we could add in, but I want to dial down to the not class. Well, the good cop. Well, yeah.
Got to throw in Young Frankenstein. Raven's never seen that one either.
Oh God,
What?
yeah.
You've never
I
seen
have.
that movie?
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I thought you said
I
you
have
had.
seen.
Okay.
I do know the one I am absolutely going to say no to. I know it's a comedy. Is Revenge of the Nerds? Just no.
Yeah, that goes without
It's
saying.
fine.
Wasn't even that good a movie. But with your concerns, you're right in having that opinion, and
We've talked about it before. We've talked about
it was a dumb movie.
yeah.
And it was, had a very, very horrific message in it that we don't need to, it just wasn't that good a movie. Even if that was cut, it wouldn't have been that good a movie.
Yeah. No.
Agreed.
So we got some of a list. We'll do Blazing Saddles next in 2 weeks. Bruce, you interested in joining this nut house?
Blazing Saddles in 2 weeks. Count me in.
All right.
Awesome. Hold on. Let me double check on the.
As long as I don't
date.
got to work on Friday, yeah, I'm in.
So we're doing Blazing Saddles rather than Zardos.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sad, but it's an acceptable trade because it's Blazing Saddles.
We'll end up. Trust me. We'll end up doing.
That'll be that'll be the 3rd of July. It coincides with my next book club meeting, but I don't have a problem.
If we do it later in the evening, we'll do 9 o'clock.
No. I've already told the guys we're having a better results by cutting the book club down to like an hour and 10, an hour and a half instead of 4 hours. Where it's just 3 hours of bullshitting after we talk about the movie. I see Justin, multiple times a week. Cutting that down is good for him, and I get to hang out with you guys as well.
All right.
And it's right before the 4th of July, so I can't think of a better way to roll in the celebration of all the things that made America great with one of the greatest comedies of all time.
Yeah.
God, I love that
Have
movie.
any of you guys ever seen? It's a Seth Rogen film called The Interview.
Years
No.
ago.
No.
At some point, I'd love to do that one just because of how absurd the movie is, but it can definitely wait. But anyways,
That is a very absurd movie.
yeah, I actually liked it because how fucked that movie was. That yeah. Anyways, with that being said, for people who end up watching this later, I hope you all have a good weekend. Enjoy. I will be seeing you all on Saturday for Bruce's campaign, which I'm sure I'll be, cussing at somebody. What? No, he won't be here this week. So yeah, it should be good.
It'll be a good day for you because there's not going to be a Janet, nor will there be a Brev. So you're
I
not going to
like
have.
Janet.
I love Janet, but she's got to go see Kid Rock.
I could do without.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I'm not.
She's going to go see Kid Rock, and
Cool.
I'm hoping that's going to pacify her so she can come back to the rest of us.
Fucking Kid Rock. Kid Rock is the kind of guy who hit his prime in high school, and because he hit it so soon in life, he thinks she's just the mad dog for his rest of his life. I can't stand this son of a bitch.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I didn't like him at first, but I like him now. I like
Yeah,
his-
I like
that
him
kind
more
of that
now.
kind of fuck you money.
and the Let's
yeah.
Go Brandon thing. It was just awesome.
I didn't like him before he got into politics. There's a comedian I absolutely adore. I don't like him anymore because he got into politics. So,
He was
Christopher
just kinda
Titus was.
cooler. He was just kind of trashy at first, and he got a lot cooler.
You
I
can
don't know
put
what he-
lipstick.
Age and billions or millions of dollars will do that to you.
What can I
And
say?
I agree, Connell. Christopher Titus needs to also die in a fire. He was comedic gold, and he threw it all away.
Yep. With that being said, everybody out there, you all have a pleasant evening. Make sure to tuck in nicely. And if the missus says she has a headache, there's this thing called aspirin. With that being said,
Aspirin comes in various sizes from 6 to 7 inches.
or the cure to the headache, some vitamin D.